We're on the fire. We need backup. Can you send anyone, please? How is sending gift cards going to help anyone? Right, before we even begin, if that is not how soldiers communicate with military intelligence officers, I don't know what you want from me exactly, okay? I'm not in the military. What do I know? If you ask me about food, wrestling, and football, I know everything. But more importantly, look at this picture here. My goodness, it's giving me vibes of like Rogue from X-Men, if you know Rogue with the signature white
I
hair.
decided I was ready to start looking for some companionship, some friendship,
These are
somebody to hold
stories
hands with, you know.
from real people. People who are
In the Army, I was in
a part of the fabric of their communities.
military intelligence.
People
I am
just
not
looking
a
for
stupid
love.
person.
Successful careers. They have
I
successful
felt
careers.
literally sick to my stomach.
Oh, goodness.
The guy I'd fallen in love with is not the guy I'd fallen in love with.
Yes, for sure. Ex-military intelligence officer, by the way. The military. This is who is in charge of intelligence. Great.
There is a secret crime that many individuals across the United States don't talk about. Every single day in America, hard-working, trusting, and honest people lose thousands of dollars, totaling up to $143 million a year.
Right, I know this episode is an older one, of course, but I love the fact that he said hard-working, honest people are victims to scam. Because we've well and truly seen recently, not everyone is honest. Mike!
Welcome to CATFISHED.
Oh, shit!
Today we're going to speak to a retired military intelligence officer named Leah, who's from Douglas, Wyoming.
Okay.
She was talking to a man who claimed he was living in South Africa. She met him on OkCupid and he ended up duping her out of $25,000 using...
Sorry, Macmillan Scott. I'm not sure if you were supposed to swap those two around and be called Scott Macmillan, but Macmillan Scott is just not real, is it? I don't know if even Scott can be a surname, but someone will let me know. I think it actually, maybe I've heard Barry Scott. Is that someone? I feel like I've heard Barry Scott before, but...
$1,000 using another man's pictures after her husband sadly passed away from cancer.
Rest in peace, all right? Rest in peace, but can we just look as... Can this go backwards? Or what's going on here? It's... Okay, there we go. I love how his cheek is fading into the locker there. Wow, Mr. Macmillan, you have powers.
Her husband sadly passed away from cancer.
Rest in peace again.
We appreciate all the support, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into it.
No, before we get into it, did the scammer draw this subscribe here? What's happened here? That's not even a play button. Someone has just drew like a cat's nose in the middle of that. A scammer has done this. You know when they do that stupid thing, I love you, blah, blah, blah? That's what that is.
My name's Leah Peterson. I was married to my husband, Paul, who was an active duty service member. He passed away while on active duty from cancer about 2.5 years ago. And around January this year, I decided I was ready to start looking for some companionship, some friendship, somebody to hold hands with, you know. So the only thing I could figure out is go online to a dating site. And
now, I'm going to make a very bold assumption here and say that Leah here is able to go outside, right? She looks well, to be honest. So why wouldn't she just go outside? Now, I know some people will say it's harder and online dating is easier, but I think the cons of online dating heavily outweigh the ease of it. So please, take your blue hair and go outside, all right? Just
on OkCupid, and that started the whole
Again, she's
fun time.
attractive.
From the
woman
time
with
like you met
curves.
this person, McMillan, how long did it take for him to start asking you for money? And then what was kind of the backstory that led to that?
David looks
He got
so
out
different.
supposedly the Gulf of Mexico. He was, working there. The internet didn't work really well there. That's why we had to use Hangout. He was almost done with his 5 weeks out there, but they ran out of supplies. And since it was his contract, he was the one that had to provide the supplies. But he couldn't access his bank to pay for it, so he asked if I would access his bank account.
Right, so we've got another, first of all, Credit One Bank just doing yoga. It's been stretched to hell. Online transfer form log out. I want to log out from this episode already. But well and truly, we've got another engineer who is on an oil rig, or wherever the hell he is, who needs hard meat. He needs the hard cheese, right? Someone help, all right? Please. Angela something.
He gave me the information. I
What?
went there and it said he had a $3 million balance in his bank account.
Oh, but he can't
Which
afford
is like,
food, okay.
oh, guess he's good for it. And so he had me pay like 82 or 92% of the original bill. I shipped
What?
that out. I'd also been shipping out emails for him to this company that exists, but the
questions. We've
emails
just-
were going somewhere else. It was a whole fraudulent
We've
setup.
just
I
done
was
it.
getting emails back with the supplies needed. So I sent the first batch of money, and then like a day or two later, they said, okay, we have your order complete. We just need the final amount. So I went back on his bank account, and it said it was stopped for fraudulent activity. We had to
Good.
wait for it to be shipped from China to Mexico, to a port in Mexico.
What is
And
being
I
shipped?
had received emails that I forwarded to him from the transit company that would have like updates on where the shipment is. And when it got to Mexico, suddenly I need to pay, port fees and taxes and customs.
What is going on here?
And that's when I shut it down.
What?
And, he was
What are we sending? What's happened here? What's being shipped? Food? Food from China all the way to Mexico. What's going on here, please? Someone explain to me. Granted, it was probably when she was younger, but how does a military intelligence officer have no common sense? Huh? Is that plausible? Is that possible? How were you a military intelligence officer in the first place? Again, I know she was younger back then, but it's a joke. Lighten up.
we need to get this, this taken care of so we can get it done. I said,
My
well,
knees.
why don't you ask your mom? I'm sure you've taken good care of her. She
That
can
is a
probably
good
send you
question.
some money. And he sent me this fake notice a day or two later from a bank that said that she had sent X amount of dollars, but he still owed me more.
What?
So at this
What kind of
point,
food
I
are
was
we having
really, I knew something was wrong. It was like,
Okay.
babe, if you can just cover this for me, I can get home sooner. I'll pay you right back. Everything's gonna be great. And I fell for it. And I
So you didn't know something was wrong. What the hell's wrong with you then, you liar?
drained my bank accounts for that first amount of money.
So he had actually given you like some bank account details. You logged on, so you log on into a legitimate bank account. You see his name, you see the dollar amount, and you're like, oh, this guy's legit. Like he's telling me the real story. Like
Yeah.
why would you
Yeah.
doubt that because you logged in yourself and saw it?
That's not
We
the
would
case.
video chat with only me showing video. He would keep his video off. But I know that first amount, I think, was $7,500 in total.
Once again, quite literally, not only don't send money to someone who you've never seen before, but don't send money to someone who you're both in a video call and they don't show themselves. Why? Why? Ask the why.
I'd had a couple of different bank accounts because I just moved. But it took all money I had. I also knew that he kind of doubled down on the romance. It was really like, babe, as soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna come home, we're gonna get married, we're gonna travel the world, I'm gonna retire, I'm done with this, I'm tired of this. It ended up being a total of $25,000 I lost to him.
Okay, but in the messages you're saying clearly like your English is not good, I don't believe you, etc. But how have we ended up with 25 grand's worth of money being sent then? I don't understand here. Once again, another victim who they suspect something is wrong, but pursue, they proceed, they persist. The 3 Ps. Stop it. The pee must be silent. Shh, it's the night time. Hit the bowl. Hit the sack. Go to sleep and clear your head. Stop sending people money.
Oh, and the thing that hurts the most is when my husband passed on active duty. I, as a widow, received a monetary gratuity that it's meant to last me for my life. And I had put that money into investments. And I called my investment advisor and had him send me the money.
You're probably like super nervous and you know, anxious about this whole situation. Once you finally got those results, like what was going through your mind, especially looking at his wife?
Right, okay, we've just jumped the gun here. I mean, Top Gun, clearly. That didn't make any sense. It looks like someone is trying to put those bunny ears behind her head. Goodness, I don't know what's going on there, but someone well and truly put bunny ears up behind Leah's head. She looks stupid right now. Please, everyone, I've said it before. Of course, this is not really the same instance. No one, well, technically someone gave her the money because of, you know, being a widow. But can we stop using money that is supposed to help us with the rest of our life? I use we as a generalization here because I'm including myself, you know. I also should never do this. Do not do it. All right? It's for you. Please. It doesn't make you a better partner. It doesn't make you a better lover by sending money that's supposed to help you to send to them, right? And it's not meant to send from you to... You get my point. Don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Take care of yourself.
I felt literally sick to my stomach. The guy I'd fallen in love with is not the guy I'd fallen in love with.
Right. This is completely off topic. Well, goodness, he's got raccoons on his shoulders for some reason. This picture here, I swear to you, there's an episode of Friends. If you know Friends, the TV show. If you don't know Friends, the TV show, what are you doing then? But do you remember when, oh my God, what's his name? Bruce Willis was in the episode, like frequently. I swear to you, he wore this outfit in one episode. Just the shirt was untucked. He kind of looks like Bruce Willis here as well. So maybe it's him. It's not.
At that point,
Raccoons,
my heart
for
broke.
some reason.
My stomach.
It's
I was
Rocket
sick.
Raccoon.
I knew it was all a lie because I couldn't deal with talking to him or trying to do anything else at that point.
There are going to be
Okay.
people that say, hey, like how foolish is she? Like,
Yeah.
what do
Me.
you have to say to like those people?
All right, let's
In the
hear
Army,
this.
I was in military intelligence.
Okay.
I am not a stupid person.
Oh,
I actually, when I was talking to people online more recently, and occasionally I would share that I've been scammed, one gentleman said, "Oh, I can see those guys a mile away. How the heck did you fall for that?"
yeah.
And I told him, "Don't you dare judge. You have no idea what happened. You have no idea until it happens to you. And the fact that you judge me is
What?
your problem." And I didn't talk to him anymore. Yeah,
Okay, I don't know what we've established here. Apparently, if you call her out and say that she was stupid, she will run through the list of why she's not stupid. Oh, ex-military intelligence officer, actually. Well, that's not actually proving your smartness here, is it? As I struggle on my words. Quite opposite, actually. It's just actually showing how stupid you are. But also, the guy that called her out on it, you know, apparently it's his problem. No, quite literally, it's your problem. You've been scammed. You know, it's not my problem that you've been scammed. If I call you stupid, it's not my problem. It's yours. So that's quite Helen-like of you, actually, Miss Ex-Military Intelligence Officer. Intelligence, by the way, the emphasis on the intelligence word. Helen University. She's giving me master's vibes at Helen University.
I researched every single
Oh,
fact
okay.
he gave me. He
Okay.
sent me a copy of his contract from BP. I looked
Right.
it over, didn't look it over hard enough.
Our search
Yeah.
specialist, Linny, ran an in-depth on Macmillan and found that none of the emails that he used to
MCM
communicate with
Scott.
Leah were attached to anyone's name, and
I'm sorry, at USA.com. Now, obviously, I'm not from the USA. Shock horror. I probably wouldn't survive in the US of A. But someone explain to me if this is a real thing. I mean, I live in the UK. I don't have an email that says @uk.com. So is that real?
Were attached to anyone's name, and all of the phone numbers he used were a fake number and could not be traced to anyone's address.
Oh my gosh.
The website that was used to track the packages was a fake website with no advertising or any reviews. And the contracts that were sent to Leah by Macmillan had a lot of grammatical...
This is how Leah was looking over the contracts, by the way. If she's not wearing glasses, but let's assume that she did like this, like me right now. I can't see shit.
Errors and misuse of punctuation and capitalization.
I might as well have looked over the contracts without my glasses, yeah? I probably would have saved you a lot more money, Leah.
Contracts also had fuzzy letters and mixed colors and fonts.
Okay.
The real man's name in the photos is Tony, who is actually happily married, living in Georgia.
Tony
So
Bench.
I went silent for a while, and then I texted him, and I threw in a bunch of Bible quotes about how evil it is to try and hurt a widow. And
I bet he's crying.
whoever was texting was like, "What are you saying? Oh, you must be."
Wait, sorry. What did she just write to this guy? Sorry, what? At least I didn't fall for a simple scheme. What would be a simple scheme then, exactly? Because actually, in the grand scheme of things, this is probably one of the shittest scams we've seen on these shows. This is one of the more basic ones, right? Fake email, fake website. Yeah, I got a fake name. Others, right? There is one story in particular where the woman for like 20 years, they know her dead father, right? Etc. If you remember that. If I remember to put it up as a card somewhere here, that is an elaborate scheme. I tell you that much. Not this shit.
Saying, "Oh, you must be sick or going crazy from lack of sleep or something."
Okay, now it makes sense why she
I
said
was like,
your
"No,
English is
I know
wrong.
you guys are BS artists," and
Okay.
but I never called him because that voice is the voice I fell in love with. That voice
Okay.
would have triggered too much, I think, and I didn't need to put myself through that.
What are
I
your
understand.
feelings about people like scam in general? Like now that you know
What a
what
rhetorical
really happens,
question
that
that
there's, you know, they steal these people's images and then they contact hundreds of people. What's like, how do you feel about these people?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's... What do you think, huh? How do you feel about people who steal from other people? Please, tell me. What a stupid question here, David. Now, it's like asking someone, what do you think of peanut nutter butters, huh? Nutter but. What do you think of nutter butters? And if your answer is, I don't like them, then we can't be friends. You are expelled from the TT because that one video where I tried nutter butters, I absolutely fell in love and I've never had them again. So realistically, actually, shut up.
What the hell are you talking about?
At this point, I think there's a very special place in hell for all of them.
Oh, goodness.
Because they try to justify it in different
Yes, all the
ways from what
scammers.
I've seen on documentaries and that.
Imagine in hell, right? There is obviously all the bad people in this world have ended up there. But then in one room, right, to the side, down the corridors of fire, there is just a room full of scammers. Just in there with their laptops. They've still got their shit-stained boxers on and they're typing away. Yeah, the devil comes in. What are you doing, huh? You need to be shoving this pitchfork up my ass. But I'm trying to get the gift cards, my friend. There is no friendship here, all right? Lube up this pitchfork and put it in me.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I don't know what I'm talking about there, but cue the police meme.
Police! Police! Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help!
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I saw this episode was like 10 minutes. So I for some reason have descended. Quite literally, I've descended to making some sort of skit about the devil. Oh my goodness, everything that's holy in this world, protect me.
We're poor and you're not. Well, go find a job. Go do something right. You're doing evil.
Okay, well, I'm sure they will listen to you, Leah.
I had no idea it was such a huge industry. I had no idea there was so much money involved.
Yes.
Billions and billions of dollars.
Yes.
The more I research into this, the more
Couldn't do your
disgusted
research
I am
before,
with it.
no?
I wish there were more steps we could take, but as technology improves, their technology improves, and it's harder and harder to find them.
I think it gets easier. Like I've talked to a lot of people in your situation. It gets easier.
I think victims and people who heavily sympathize with victims are oblivious to the fact that, of course, they're getting better and better. AIs coming in, right? But there is one just main focal point that can help you not be scammed. Don't send money to people. Right? You know that meme? The meme! You know that meme of something of a science guy or something when he goes, stop it, right? Simply to not get scammed. You just don't send money. I don't care how convincing the other person is and you are in love, right? Ask yourself in a real world scenario, if the person was in front of you, would you give them money after 1-2 weeks? Probably not. So why, when we've never seen them over the phone, why are we sending them money after that much time?
As time goes on and you build more of those relationships that like are a necessity for everybody to have,
By the way, I don't think Catfish
I definitely don't envy your situation
in this episode.
But I definitely respect you and I really truly appreciate you for taking the time and like helping educate other people that are in your same situation. And this happens to a lot of people. Like I've been doing this for a long time. We get millions of people a month that come to us,
That's
a
crazy.
month. And I've talked to thousands of people. I think most of the people don't report this, so like I think for you to go report this is great. And like you said,
nothing's gonna happen.
A lot of it is like just paperwork, but at the same time, it leaves like a paper trail just in case there's other people involved, because there could be people in the States or the banks might be, held accountable to some extent, depending on, what's happened or hasn't happened. So
never.
We also recommend that you report it. Sometimes it seems like a lost cause, but we've heard people getting calls like a year later, 2 years later, from the FBI. Well, I appreciate the feedback, and again, I appreciate you taking the time to be on and tell your story.
Sure.
All right.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye.
I mean,
Leah is now back on the online dating scene and she started
Again.
running 5K every other day.
Wait, is this
She's lost
picture
20
recent?
pounds and has a much better outlook on life. She quoted, "It's not a good thing that it happened, but I challenge anyone who has gone through something like this to not let it break you. Let it make you stronger."
Facts. A good quote. As the paint splatters. If that is a recent picture of her looking like Rogue, once again, I don't think you should be online dating. I think you genuinely should be in person, meeting people. If she was to visit a bar, I'm pretty sure she would get a lot of attention. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't be weird about it, all right? If you're going to approach someone in a bar, be normal about it, as normal as it can be, I guess. That's a bit weird. Sleazy, in fact. But you get my point. She could easily go and join a club or do something, and she will easily meet someone. She's an attractive woman. But the main take point from this is, one, to combat scams, regardless of, advancing technology or anything, don't send money. And that's it. That's the take point you need. Don't send money. Simple as. And also, don't, admit your mistakes. Don't think you're some sort of, don't use your position that you held many years ago as some sort of, pedestal. Goodness, get a grip of yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one. that's it. Bye. Peace. Much love. As always, playlist up here. Take care of yourselves.